So we're halfway through the 2026 NBA season, and we're halfway through the 2025 draft class's rookie season. So I wanted to do a rookie check-in ranking and rank the top 25 rookies of the 2026 season so far. And as I was making my ranking, it kind of drops off quickly. I feel like even though the top of the 2025 draft was a lot better than the 2024 draft, the 2024 draft might have been like a deeper class when you're talking about like the 15 to 25th best rookies, at least from a year ago. And like always, I would love to know if there's maybe a rookie that I don't mention here today that you think has been a top 25 rookie. Let me know down below. And it's also been a nice year for some undrafted rookies so far. So we're going to start at 25 and we're going to go to number 1. Let's get into it. And before I get into number 25, I have 4 honorable mentions that just missed the cut. Walter Clayton Jr., now of the Memphis Grizzlies. He's already been traded from this rookie class so far as a first rounder. He was obviously in that Jaren Jackson Jr. trade. I also have Yannick Niederhauser of the Los Angeles Clippers. Now that they traded away Ivica Zubac, he could definitely jump up into the top 25 very soon. And then I also have Asa Newell and Jace Richardson missing the cut. They just haven't really had a ton of consistent playing time this year. I hope that changes in the second half. So starting off here at number 25, I have Nick Clifford of the Sacramento Kings. We're going to actually have a couple Kings in here, and Clifford is actually going to be the lowest of the Kings, even though he was their first round pick this year. They traded up with the San Antonio Spurs to get this pick to select the former Colorado State Ram. And I feel like there's been a lot of ups and downs for Clifford this year. I was hoping that Nick Clifford was actually going to go to a team that was maybe going to contend this year, just because Clifford already being on the older side at 24 years old. I'm not sure how long his peak's going to be in the NBA level. Now, since they traded away Dennis Schroeder and now Zach LaVine is out for the year, and they're kind of tanking here in the second half, Clifford has been playing better as of late. He had 30 points before the All-Star break when they lost by 6 to the Cleveland Cavaliers. By far the best game of his season, and he's starting to play a little bit better as of late. And honestly, when you're watching the Kings this year, before the trade deadline, before these guys got hurt, I don't know where Nick Clifford was going to succeed in this offense. It's a disaster. I don't know if that comes back on coaching or the front office for just putting this roster out there that doesn't make any sense offensively. These guys do not play well together. Everybody's kind of like a ball hog or is just taking a bad shot, or Nick Clifford is just getting like a grenade at the end of the shot clock as well, where somebody's trying to make something happen and they can't get past their defender or create any separation. And now we're winding down the shot clock. 3, 2, 1. Here you go, Nick Clifford. And now you got to chuck something up. He's shooting 39% from the field this year, 31% from 3. I think it's been positive defense. I like the court vision. I think he's going to finish a lot higher than 25 at the end of the year with the increase in playing time. Coming in at number 24, I have Sion James of the Charlotte Hornets. Like Clifford, Sion's on the older side. He spent a couple years at Tulane and last year at Duke. James has been in and out of the rotation this year for the Charlotte Hornets, but he has been playing a decent amount of minutes as of late leading up to the All-Star break. He's averaging 5.5 points, 3.5 rebounds, and 2 assists this year. He's shooting 36% from 3 and 85% from the free throw line. He's struggling a little bit around the rim, but I really like the Sion James defensive tape this year. 6'5", 220 pounds. I projected him to be a good defender at the NBA level from what we saw last year in his role-playing duties at Duke. And I'm not sure if he's going to finish higher or lower on this list at the end of the year. Charlotte didn't really make a big addition at the deadline. They went from Colin Sexton to Kobe White. So James's minutes shouldn't change too much, especially if there's an injury or two in Charlotte. I think James is going to be pretty available in the second half of the season. And I think you're happy with Charlotte seeing one of maybe 3 rookies making this list. Another rookie that's on the rise as of late, coming in at number 23, I have Kasper Shakuchonis of the Miami Heat. If you guys followed my content leading up to the 2025 draft, you remember that I was very big on Kasper, and I thought he went way too late in the draft. He struggled a little bit in summer league and preseason, and really struggled to get consistent playing time at the start of the year for the Miami Heat. It does take a little bit of time for a rookie to get Eric Spoelstra's trust. We still don't even see that connection with Kel'el Ware and Eric Spoelstra right now. He averaged 15 minutes a night in December, and in January he didn't play a single game in November, and now he's averaging 12.5 points, 4.5 assists, and 2.5 rebounds in 24 minutes a night in February so far in 5 games. He's shooting 55% from the field, 53% from 3, and 85% from the free throw line in those 5 games as well, and it's starting to look very comfortable out there every single night running this offense with Kel'el Ware and Bam Adebayo. He recently had 20 points against the Jazz, 22 points against the Wizards. Not saying those are the most intimidating defenses in the world, but it's nice to see KJ really have more confidence and just comfortability out there. It's tough for a rookie guard to kind of find that consistency in their rookie season, but I think this is still going to be a really good pick for the Miami Heat. He's coming in at 23. I think he's going to be higher at the end of the year. Coming in at number 22, I have one of a couple Brooklyn Nets we're going to talk about here today. I have Drake Powell, the 6'5" wing they selected with the 22nd overall pick last year's draft. They kind of got this pick for free. They just had to take on the Terrence Mann contract, and Powell has been a solid two-way wing for the team this year. He's still struggling at times offensively. Honestly, I thought he was going to still be playing college basketball. I was kind of surprised he went into the 2026 draft, and I was even more surprised when he went as high as 22, but you could definitely see the potential in Drake Powell. He's averaging 6 points, 1.7 rebounds, 1.5 assists this year, shooting 43% from the field and 29% from three, but he's lanky, he's rangy, he can guard multiple positions, and he's still a part of a losing team right now. I think when the Nets finally hit their stride and they're no longer rebuilding, Powell's going to be a big reason for that, because he can actually be that point of attack defender, that guy that can guard multiple positions. He can be a great help defender. He's going to run very well in transition over time. The big swing skill, like it was coming out of UNC, is that three-point jumper, because if that ever develops, he's going to be a true elite 3-and-D wing one day. That's what he's projected to be. He's coming in at 22 right now. We'll see if it's a strong second half for the former Tar Heel. And another player kind of similar to Drake Powell, he's got a high ceiling, but maybe a low floor. Definitely a volatile prospect coming out of Illinois. I have Will Riley. Now, Will Riley's been playing some solid basketball as of late. Definitely just recently played the best game of his season so far against the Detroit Pistons, where he had 20 points against a really good defense, and then followed that up with 27 points against the Brooklyn Nets as well. So I hope Riley finds that consistency in the second half of the season, because his playing time was also kind of all over the place at the start of the year for the rebuilding Washington Wizards. He averaged 7.5 minutes a night in November, 18 minutes a night in December, 19 in January, and now we're up to 30 minutes a night here in the month of February throughout 6 games leading up to the All-Star break. And Riley does have potential for somebody that's 6'9". He's also very lanky like Drake Powell, and he can finish around the rim. I hope that three-point shot kind of creeps up a little bit in terms of volume in the second half, and Riley can honestly finish closer to the top 10 with the playing time that he's getting right now, almost 30 minutes a night. Coming in at number 20, he's been kind of trending downwards a little bit as of late. I have Kobe Sanders of the Los Angeles Clippers, but I don't want to discredit what he did in the first half of the season, because Sanders really stepped up for the Los Angeles Clippers at the start of the year. He was the 50th overall pick. If you were watching my draft stream, you probably remember that I wanted the Knicks to take him, and they technically did, and then they traded this pick to the Los Angeles Clippers. Come on, give me somebody I like.
With the 50th pick in the 2025 NBA draft, the New York Knicks select Kobe Sanders from the University of Nevada.
Yes! Yes! Dude, Kobe Sanders is legit.
The first player drafted out of Nevada since Jalen Harris.
Dude, Kobe Sanders, no freaking way. Let's go. Do not tell me this pick is getting traded. Do not tell me this pick is getting traded. I'm checking Twitter. Don't tell me it's going to LA. Stop. Stop. Do not tell me it's going to LA. No. 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 I hate Leon Rose. I hate Leon Rose. What is the point of moving back one pick? What is the point? Now, Sanders has definitely been asked to do way more than probably he expected this year for a Clippers team that was projected to win 50 wins. They were a disaster at the start of the year. They've been playing some really good basketball, and then they traded away James Harden and Ivica Zubac. But over the last 4 months, his playing time has been around 20 minutes a night for the Clippers. He has struggled in February, but was one of the better rookies in December and January, knocking down 43% of his threes in December, 39% of his threes in January. He can play good defense at 6'8". He's not a great point guard option for you right now. Maybe what we saw at Nevada last year, because it's definitely been a challenge for him to adapt to that at the NBA level, and you don't know what Kobe Sanders you're going to get on a night-to-night basis. Like, he really shot them out of that Houston Rockets loss before the All-Star break as well. But I think he's just been a solid role player so far. Like I said, I don't know if he's going to finish in the top 25 with some of the younger guys trending upwards behind him that are really starting to get more playing time. But I think Sanders has definitely outplayed his rookie value so far. Coming in at number 19, a very interesting rookie this season, Danny Wolf of the Brooklyn Nets. That's the second net we are mentioning so far. I'm honestly fine if you had Powell ahead of Danny Wolf for what he's done defensively, but I think Wolf has been a lot better than Drake Powell offensively. He's shooting 40% from the field, 32% from three this season, 78% from the free throw line, averaging 8.5 points, 4.5 rebounds for, yeah, that tanking Brooklyn Nets team. But like some of the other rookies we've talked about, he has been playing more and more as of late. He is averaging 11 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists in the month of February. This might be too high for Danny Wolf when you're looking at his numbers in a vacuum, but I think he's made an impact out there for his floor spacing ability as a big man. I'm fine with him shooting 33% from 3 this season, because I think that can definitely trend upwards in the right direction. Definitely needs to get better defensively. I've liked the court vision, kind of been as advertised coming out of Yale and Michigan in last year's draft class. And I think Wolf is going to finish around this range at the end of the year as well. I'm really fascinated to see who they prioritize going long term. Like, I obviously didn't have Ben Soroff making this list. We will have 2 more Brooklyn Nets that we're going to talk about. They're going to most likely bring in a top 8 pick from the 2026 draft. They're going to have some trade and financial flexibility possibility to make a move in the offseason. So I wonder how the minutes allocation is going to look for Danny Wolf and Drake Powell in 2027. Coming in at number 18, another player that has definitely exceeded his value this year. He was the 56th overall pick in the draft. I have Will Richard out of Florida and now a member of the Golden State Warriors. Richard got off to a really good start this year, and I was very impressed that Steve Kerr trusted him out of the gate, giving them some valuable minutes in October and November, and he's pretty much been averaging around 20 minutes per game this season. Now, the playing time in late January and early February has definitely fallen off a little bit. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if Kerr is not trusting Will Richard as much. They're obviously playing D'Anthony Melton, Moses Moody, Guy Santos, and Gary Payton more minutes a night now than Will Richard. He's also been a little bit passive. I think he's passed up some open shots this year, which maybe you get those rookie jitters. But Will Richard stepped up in that national championship game for Florida against Houston when nobody could hit a shot at all. He's also been dealing with a knee injury as of late, but he's shooting 47% from the field this year, 35% from three. He's averaging 6.5 points, 1.2 steals. I think has been a good two-way player for the Golden State Warriors so far, and you got to be thrilled for the value he's provided you with the 56th overall pick. I'm not sure if he's going to end up higher on this list at the end of the year, but if he finishes in this range, hey, you definitely outplayed the 56th overall pick value. Coming in at number 17, another player that's kind of been in and out of the Celtics rotation this year, and that is Hugo Gonzalez. He just turned 20 years old, and you may look at the numbers, 3.8 points, 3.3 rebounds. Yeah, that's not super impressive. I don't know. When I'm watching Hugo Gonzalez, this guy has impressed me so much on the defensive end of the floor. He wasn't really super involved in the Celtics rotation at the start of the season. He didn't play a lot in November. December, he was averaging around 20 minutes a night. January, 16 minutes a night. And February, around 15 minutes a night. But has been in and out of the rotation, playing a lot in garbage time. I just love the defensive tape from Hugo Gonzalez in transition and in the half court. He's not scared to get dunked on. He might get dunked on, but at least he's going to have an effort to try to block your poster. And I think he's going to be a good defender in this league for a long, long time. Honestly, it's not a ton of volume, but I think his three-point shot has been super impressive so far, especially what I was watching at Real Madrid last year. And I think Hugo's been a top 20 rookie this season. So we have our first undrafted player here in the top 25, and that's going to be point guard Ryan Nembhard of the Dallas Mavericks. Another impressive player so far in year number one. Ryan Nembhard did not get drafted, which is shocking, but that could also be a behind the scenes agent thing. They wanted him to go undrafted so he can pick the team that he wanted to end up with, and that ended up being the Dallas Mavericks, and he's getting a ton of playing time right now, so that looks like it was a good decision by Ryan Nembhard and his agent. He hasn't been playing great as of late, but he's definitely outperformed an undrafted player this season. 38% from three, 6.7 points a night, 5 assists. He has great court vision. He's had a really good connection with the bigs and obviously Cooper Flagg this year in Dallas. He's a little bit on the smaller side at 5'11", but I think he holds his own defensively. Obviously in a playoff series, you don't want to be your main point guard out there. Like, that's going to be Kyrie Irving when he comes back from his injury, but he was a great college player at Creighton and Gonzaga, and I think that's translated nicely to the NBA level. All right, so I was actually making this video and I completely forgot somebody that definitely should have been making this top 25 list, and that is Caleb Love of the Portland Trailblazers. So I'm going to place him right after Ryan Nembhard. He's essentially going to be maybe 15.5 on this list. Caleb Love this year has stepped up at times with the Portland Trailblazers with all their injuries in the backcourt. Obviously no Damian Lillard this year. Drew Holiday's missed some time. Same with Scoot Henderson as well. And Caleb Love, as an undrafted free agent out of Arizona, is averaging 11 points, 2.5 rebounds, 2.7 assists. Now, the defense has not been good this year, honestly, at all on the perimeter. He's actually been one of the worst defenders in the NBA. Caleb Love is a little bit of an undersized guard, but can hold his own sometimes physically. He's 24 years old. He was obviously a multi-year player at college, starting his college career at UNC for 3 years, and then spending the last 2 years at Arizona. He's shooting 39% from the field, 32% from three. I think he's stepped up at times for Portland this year. I don't think he's going to be that much involved in the rotation in the second half if Portland is trying to contend and Scoot, Drew, and Sharp are all healthy. So I think this is probably going to be the highest of Caleb Love's ranking in my rookie rankings throughout the season. I just thought it was disrespectful to not have him in this video, and I apologize for initially forgetting him in this list. From one point guard to another, let's go from Ryan Nembhard to Nolan Traore, coming in at number 15. Traore's been playing some really good basketball as of late. The game is slowing down for Traore right now. Their turnovers are still high, but I'm glad that he's getting more experience running this half-court offense, and he looks like the best true point guard on the roster this year, because there's another Brooklyn Nets rookie we're going to get to later on. You can probably figure it out. He hasn't really been a traditional ball handler or point guard for this team. That has been Nolan's job as of late, and over his last few games, he's really getting comfortable finishing around the rim. The three-point shot is going in a little bit more, and he's really setting up his teammates nicely under Jordi Fernandez's offensive system. And Traore was one of the top prospects going into the 2025 draft cycle, but struggled a little bit last year at St. Quentin in France, where he struggled around the rim and was actually looked at as like the #1 point guard prospect in that draft, even at times ahead of Dylan Harper. Now, they've obviously gone their separate ways right now, but Traore does look like he could be the franchise point guard in Brooklyn going forward. I liked him a lot before the draft, and I'm glad he's playing some really good basketball as of late. He could finish closer to the top 10 at the end of the year. We talked about Sion James earlier. Let's talk about our second Hornet here at number 14, No, I'm just kidding. It's Ryan Kalkbrenner, obviously. Kalkbrenner has just been a solid center for the Hornets this year. Now, do I want Kalkbrenner out there in the final 3 minutes of a playoff series? I don't really know, but he's averaging 8 points, 6 rebounds this year. He is money around the rim, 76%. Now, he's not going to take many hook shots, jump shots, definitely no three-pointers this year. So he's taking a lot of dunks around the basket and a lot of layups as well. At least he's knocking those down. 76% on twos this season. 1.5 blocks a night. He's a good, I think, rotational big man in this league. I think at his peak, he's somebody that you can give about 18, 20 minutes a night to as your backup big. But if, hey, your starting big gets hurt, he could step in for 6 to 8 games and give you quality big man minutes. And I think it's definitely outplayed his value as the 34th overall pick this year for the Charlotte Hornets. And they've just had a really good draft class so far. And coming in at number 13, I have another undrafted player from this class, Dylan Cardwell of the Sacramento Kings. Yeah, the second King that we were talking about. The second undrafted player here might be one of my favorite in the class because Dylan Cardwell is the definition of just a glue guy in this league. One of my takes before the NBA draft was I thought there was a real chance Dylan Cardwell could outperform his Auburn teammate at the NBA level, given their specific skill sets, and his teammate was Shania Broom. So far, that is looking like the case. Now, Cardwell is not on the younger side. He is 24 years old. He's averaging 5.5 points, 7.7 rebounds. His undrafted contract got converted to a standard contract this year, 60% from the field for the Sacramento Kings. He's playing around 21 minutes a night, 1.5 blocks a game. I think he's going to be a solid rim protector in this league for at least the next 5 years. It stinks too because I think the Sacramento Kings drafted well. It's just they drafted on the older side, unfortunately, and a lot of these older players might be worth their most value right now as they can contribute maybe on playoff teams. It's just the Kings might not make the playoffs for a decent amount, but I think they did a great job evaluating Cardwell and now converting that contract to a full-time one. Because one spot ahead of Dylan Cardwell at number 12, I have Maxime Reynaud, another Sacramento Kings pick. Reynaud was selected in the second round out of Stanford. Throughout my draft stream for the second round, I thought he went way too low. Reynaud, like Clifford and Cardwell, is a little bit on the older side, but a little bit younger than Cardwell. He's 22 years old. He'll be 23 in April. Reynaud this year is averaging 10 points, 6.5 rebounds, shooting 55% from the field. The three-point shot has not been as knocked down as I thought it would be. Over his 4 years at Stanford, he shot around 35% from three, so it's not falling quite nearly as much, but I thought he's been very skillful around the rim. He's been great in transition. He looks very fast with the ball in his hands, and he's 7'1" with a good handle. I would love to see Reynaud have a long-term relationship with a floor general on this team, but no, their main point guard is Russell Westbrook, who could retire at the end of the year for all we know. So yeah, I just wish these 3 Sacramento Kings players were maybe on like the Minnesota Timberwolves, the Toronto Raptors, or the Philadelphia 76ers, where they could actually be used in the playoffs this year, because I'm not sure how much they're going to be utilized in the postseason in Sacramento. And coming in at number 11, I have Dylan Harper of the San Antonio Spurs. Now, I love Dylan Harper. He was my second graded player going into the 2025 NBA draft, and I still feel like he could be the second best player from this class long term. We're just looking at this year, pretty much half of this year in a vacuum, and I don't think he's been a top 10 rookie so far, but it's very tough for Dylan Harper to be a top 10 rookie, given that he's playing behind De'Aaron Fox and Stephon Castle, one all-star level point guard, and Stephon Castle, who can make an argument for the best sophomore player and is the reigning rookie of the year. Harper this year has been averaging around 21 minutes a night. He's shooting 46% from the field. Three-point shot has not been falling. It's 25% from three. He's averaging 11 points, 3.5 assists, and 3.5 rebounds. And it's tough for Harper to get in a rhythm every single night as well, given that he's not going to play 30-plus minutes like some of these other rookies, given the 2 guards ahead of him, and the Spurs are expected to win now. Harper was playing about 25 minutes per game earlier in the year. The minutes have creeped up a little bit as of late, and he's definitely played some of his best ball leading up to the All-Star break. I do wonder how this is going to look in the second half for Dylan Harper. Maybe he figures it out even more, and he really can turn into a top 5 rookie in the second half, and this is the lowest he's going to be all season. And I know Spurs fans did not like me bringing up the idea, could maybe the Spurs regret taking Dylan Harper over Concacaf? I would still take Dylan Harper in a redraft at number 2. I wasn't standing on the side that Conconnipple is better now and in the long term. It was just more so on how to maybe maximize the Spurs season around Wemby and the already proven guards in that backcourt with Conconnipple there. But yeah, I would still take Dylan Harper number 2 in a redraft. But if we're looking on just rookie play this season, I have him just outside the top 10. Because coming in at number 10, I have Dylan Harper's teammate from Rutgers, Ace Bailey. I think Ace Bailey is one of the more underrated rookies this season. I know the Utah Jazz haven't been great. I know he hasn't really had a stretch like an Edgecombe or Conconnipple have had this year, but I do think Ace Bailey has been a top 10 rookie. He's averaging just under 12 points per game, 4 rebounds. He's shooting 45% from the field. The three-point shot has been solid as of late. It's up to 34% on the year, 71% from the free throw line. We're going to see a lot of Ace Bailey hopefully in the second half, and he can actually get some real opportunities as a top 2 to 3 scoring option every single night with Jaren Jackson Jr. out for the rest of the season. I assume that some of the Jazz star players might be in and out of the lineup in the second half. And Ace Bailey is looking more comfortable by the day, getting to the rim, finishing around the rim, and being a spot-up three-point shooter as well. Now, Ace Bailey is going to have better looking numbers than Dylan Harper this year, given their usage rates, given their opportunities. And I thought he had a really strong January, and I'm hoping that Ace Bailey can really kind of take strides in the second half of the year, because I really wonder what his value is going to be in Utah over the next 3 years. What if they draft an AJ DeBonsa? What if they end up drafting a Cameron Boozer? Where's Ace Bailey's fit and shots going to go moving forward if they bring in another top 3 player in this draft? Because Jaren Jackson Jr., Lowry Markkanen, Keontae George, and Walker Kessler, when he comes back, are going to get a lot of shots every single night. So I think it's a big second half for Ace Bailey in Utah. Coming in at number 9, I have Jeremiah Fears of the New Orleans Pelicans, maybe a little bit lower than you thought he could end up being here. He is 19 years old. I thought he was exceptional in the first half and has definitely been a top 10 rookie. Now, he has struggled defensively for the Pelicans this year, which makes sense. He's a little bit of a smaller guard out there, and they don't really have a great infrastructure defensively there in New Orleans, as they are still one of the worst teams in the NBA. Fears is putting up numbers though in the box score: 13 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists a night. He's shooting 43% from the field, 32% from 3. I'm intrigued about the free throw rate and the free throw percentage this year, but Fears has had a below average true shooting percentage every single month this season, and he's also not a positive defensive player. So I think just because of the opportunities, he may look better than he's actually performing out there, but I still think it's a positive season so far for the former Oklahoma Sooner in New Orleans. And one spot ahead of Jeremiah Fears, I have Colin Murray Boyles, who ended up going number 9 to the Toronto Raptors. I love Colin Murray Boyles this season. I know he's not scoring the most out of all these rookies. He's averaging 8 points, 5 rebounds, shooting 55% from the field. He's knocking down his threes this year. I was a little worried about his 3-point attempts coming out of South Carolina. I thought that was a huge swing skill for Colin Murray Boyles, but he's shooting 35% from 3 on about attempt a night. Hey, I'll take it. We'll see what direction that goes moving forward. I wonder if he'll have the same shooting coach that helped out Scotty Barnes have his improvement with his jumper coming out of Florida State. He's shooting 60% on twos this year, Colin Murray Boyles. He doesn't get to the free throw line a ton, but he's really physical down low. I think he's had really good court vision so far. He's averaging around 2 stocks a night. Still just 20 years old. It's hard for him to play a ton though, because of RJ Barrett, Brandon Ingram, and Scotty Barnes. Those guys are going to play a ton every single night, but I think Colin Murray Boyles has been an impactful defender right away. He was the second best defender for me in this class overall, behind Cooper Flagg, and I think he's acted like it so far, and I think he's going to make an all-defensive team at least one point in his career. So coming in one spot ahead of Colin Murray Boyles, I have my second New Orleans Pelican, and I have Derek Queen. So Derek Queen is always going to be talked about because the Pelicans traded away that Bucks-Pelican swap to move up to get Derek Queen in the 2025 draft. He was a little bit on the older side for a freshman. He's already 21 years old, and Derek Queen has slowed down a little bit as of late, but he's still been a productive rookie so far on the offensive end of the floor. The defense has definitely been more inconsistent than you would have liked, but Queen has been basically his nickname, Baby Jokic, this year as a rookie. 12 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists. He's shooting just under 50% from the field. He has struggled with his 3-point shot though, 27% from 3, 77% from the free throw line. He's basically kind of what I thought he was going to be out of Maryland, and the question marks are still there. He's kind of in that tweener position. He's 6'9". He's not athletic enough, or I think skillful enough right now to be that rim protector long term. That 3-point shot has not really come around this year at all either, so it's hard to justify him as like a stretch 4 at this time, and he can't really be out there with Yves Missi, because then you have 2 non-shooters, and you're probably playing them with Zion Williamson, so now you have 3 non-shooters out there. I feel like we saw the peak of Derek Queen in December, and I still think he can end up on an all-rookie first team this year, but when I'm looking at both the lenses, offense and defense, I think he's just outside the top 5. And one spot ahead of Derek Queen at number 6, I have Yegor Drummond of the Brooklyn Nets. Yeah, Yegor has been phenomenal as a 3-point shooter this year. I thought he should have made the 3-point contest at this rate. He's averaging 11 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists. He is still 19 years old. He's shooting 40% from the field. Honestly, I'm not too worried about the 2-point percentage right now. I would like to see him be more aggressive in the second half, and I think Sean Marks and Jordi Fernandez are definitely going to emphasize that for Yegor in the final 30 or so games for the Nets this year. He's shooting 39.5% on 6.5 3-point attempts this year, but he's a 6'8 guard. I have no idea if he's going to be more of a point guard or a wing. Can he be more of like a Josh Giddey, or is he going to be more of a Franz Wagner one day, or maybe a hybrid between the two? But somebody fixed this shot. I know he killed the workouts, and he has been a phenomenal rookie this year. I think there's real hype to him being an all-rookie first-team member this year, and I think he's got to be talked about more. And I think this was John Marks and the Brooklyn Nets' vision going into the draft. I still think it was a perplexing draft process. I think Yegor, Traore, Powell, Wolf, and Saraf is a confusing 5-player draft class. Maybe Saraf is the one confusing one there, but I think they just wanted to take these 3 guards and hope at least 1, maybe 2 of them hit. And it's looking like Traore and Yegor are hitting right now. So coming in at number 5, I have Trey Johnson of the Washington Wizards. Not sure if this is surprising to have him this high at number 5. He's dealt with a hip injury this year for Washington, but I've been very impressed by Trey Johnson's offensive ability. Yeah, the defense could definitely be a work in progress, but he also doesn't have a great defensive infrastructure around him like Jeremiah Fears in New Orleans. The Wizards are not a great defensive team right now. I'm a little worried about him and Trae Young in the backcourt defensively together going forward. But as Trey Johnson gets stronger, more physical, and just older in the NBA, I think he's going to hold his own there. He's got decent size. He's averaging 13 points this year, 2.5 rebounds, 44% from the field, 39% from 3 on about 5.5 attempts a night, and he's shooting 89% from the free throw line. I would like for him to be more aggressive in the second half as well. Just kind of get downhill, see if you can get a whistle or two, take more shots around the rim. And I hope we get to see a lot of Trey Johnson in the second half as well. I know the Wizards are going to be tanking. We're not going to really see Anthony Davis. We're not going to see Trae Young either. So I hope Trey Johnson can get the majority of his shots, because I have no idea what's going to happen. What if they select Darren Peterson? What does that mean for Trey Johnson going forward? I think it's a big evaluation period for Johnson and the Wizards in the final 30 or so games. So coming in at number 4, I really wanted to put him at number 3. And honestly, because if you're going to take into account both sides of the ball and what he's been doing overall this year, you can have him at 3, but I think 4 is fair. Cedric Coward of the Memphis Grizzlies. Yeah, Coward has been a top 4 rookie this year, in my opinion, and definitely deserves a spot on all-rookie first team. Coward is averaging 13 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists this year, 47% from the field, 34% from 3, and 84% from the free throw line. Coward has dealt with some injuries this year. He's currently dealing with a knee issue. I'm not sure how much he's going to play in the second half, as the Grizzlies are also trying to tank. But if you're looking at two-way ability this year, Coward has been probably a top 10 offensive rookie and a top 5 defensive rookie as well. So I think he deserves to be on all-rookie first team. I love the aggressiveness and the physicality on the defensive side of the ball. He fights over screens really hard. He's going to try to get a chase down block. He's going to run back in transition. And who knows, maybe this is baby Kawhi at one point. He's got very similar traits to what Kawhi Leonard had coming out of San Diego State in that 2011 draft. Even if he's not, even if he's just a really high-end role player, I think Memphis hit it out of the park with this pick. They were able to trade up in the 2025 draft with a pick they got from Orlando from the Desmond Bane trade. And I think Coward could end up as the 3rd best rookie at the end of the year. But at number 3, I still have to have VJ Edgecombe of the Philadelphia 76ers, because VJ I still think has been a positive player defensively. There's definitely some lapses. He could be a little overzealous. He could try to block shots on pump fakes, and then he can't really get back on a guy because maybe he's going to fall down. This happened against the Knicks a little bit on Jalen Brunson, as well as Jose Alvarado. But this year, Edgecombe has been really good. And he's 20 years old. He's averaging 15 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 4 assists. He's shooting 42% from the field, 35% from 3, and 78% from the free throw line. He obviously got off to that great start. He had 30+ points in his first game of the season. Now his scoring monthly has kind of gone down over the last month and a half. Now he did score 17 points in the month of December. I thought he was hitting a rookie wall after a slower November. But Edgecombe has made some really clutch plays this year. He's not going to win Rookie of the Year. I still think he's going to end up on all-rookie first team, and that made Daryl Morey feel comfortable about trading away Jared McCain, because it's Edgecombe and Maxey in that backcourt long term. So here's the debate. Who's number 2? Who's number 1? I don't know if this is going to be a spicy take here at number 2, but I do have Con Knipple, because I still evaluate both sides of the ball. Con Knipple has a argument for Rookie of the Year, for being the number 1 rookie. This was very difficult, and if you had him at number 1, honestly, right now, I'm okay with it. I'm still projecting Cooper Flagg to be the Rookie of the Year at the end of the season as long as he's healthy, but Con Knipple has really turned around the franchise of the Hornets. Now, I know Brandon Miller's been great, Moose, LaMelo, a lot of guys have been a big reason why the Hornets are a lot of fun to watch as of late, but Con might be at the forefront of that. 19 points, 5.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists. He needs about 20 or so threes to break the rookie season record for three-pointers made, and we still got about 20+ games left of the year. 43% from 3, 90% from the free throw line. He's taking 8 3-point attempts a night. I loved Con Knipple at Duke. I said he didn't have many flaws. I don't think he's an elite defender by any means, but he still holds his own on that end of the court, and he's just been a stud this year. I still think guys like Dylan Harper, maybe VJ Edgecombe, and maybe Ace Bailey have higher ceilings than Con Knipple if they all reach their 100th percentile outcome, but man, Con Knipple has a super high floor. He was a borderline all-star this year as a rookie. He's still 20 years old. This is a stud pick for Charlotte, and if you had him at number 1, I'm cool with that as well. But at number 1, I do have Cooper Flagg, the Dallas Mavericks. Cooper Flagg got off to a little bit of a slower start this year. Yeah, it wasn't easy for the 18-year-old kid to play point guard right away for a team that had expectations of winning 42 plus games and making the playoffs this year. But over the last few months, Cooper Flagg has been on an absolute tear. He averaged 13 points per game in October, 18 points per game in November, 23 in December, 21 in January. He's averaging 27 points per game here in February. He's up to 48% from the field on the season, 30% from 3, 80% from the free throw line. He is dealing with a foot issue right now, so I really hope he's not missing too much time in the second half, but he's a stud defender, 6.5 rebounds, 4 assists a night. He's almost an elite two-way player already, and he's barely 19 years old. He turned 19 2 months ago. That is insane. I think Cooper Flagg is going to end up winning Rookie of the Year as long as he doesn't miss a decent chunk in the second half. I think he's been one of the best defensive rookies. He's been either number 1 or number 2 offensively this year out of this rookie class. So yeah, I do have Cooper Flagg as the number 1 rookie so far this season. So that is going to be for me. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, I'd appreciate you dropping a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you're not already. Also, if you hit a thumbs up, the basketball icon shows up as well, which is kind of cool. Let me know down below what you agree with, what you disagree with. Maybe give me your all rookie first team or second team down below as well. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.